Hi there guys, little project I'm going to have here. I'm just going to make myself a little herb planter to go up on the decking. So what I've actually done on this beautiful sunny day, this weather doesn't know what to do, is I've actually just bought 5 fence palings, and they were about $4 each. I'm not sure exactly how I wanted this to look or what I was going to do with it, so I think I might be short when it comes to the legs here, but I can actually make I'll make the container, and then I can actually get it up to where I want it to go, put it on some bricks maybe, and depending on how fancy I make it, and then get it together. So the first thing I'm going to do, I've decided I'm going to have it 2 fence palings wide at the bottom. So I'm now going to cut one of the pieces, and here we have it. So I'm going to cut one off, and I'm going to cut a couple of 3 lengths off of that. Now I've already measured the width of the palings so that I can actually put 3 shorter pieces, and they'll go on the bottom as a support. So here I've cut 3 shorter lengths. So Clyde is definitely going to get into the picture. How you doing, big lad? So I've cut the 3 short lengths, as you can see here. I've got the 3 on here. This isn't, you're not helping Clyde. And then I'm just screwing these in place. But when it comes to the screws, pick the longest you can find. That won't go all the way through, or else if they're going all the way through, when you line the inside, you'll tend to puncture it, which is not a biggie because it needs holes anyway to drain, but it doesn't help. You can bet your life, wherever there's anything sharp sticking up, you'll catch your fingers and things on it. So yep, so that's just a case of bobbing the rest of these screws in, isn't it, Clyde? So that's that job done. As you can see, I've just turned this over to have a look at what it is I want to do, and what I've decided, I'm going to put a little bit of a tilt on it, just make it look a little bit, makes it look a bit less boxy, a little bit more professional, a little bit nicer. And the way I'm going to do that is, what I'm going to do here is I'll put a couple of screws on the board here, fitting this to the inside, which will just allow me just a couple of small screws, so I can just ease that out slightly. So that'll come out, so I'll have that bit of a slope. And then when it comes to the ends, what I can do is the distance of this slope will end up the same as the height of the next board. So I can fold that out, and then once I get the ends then marked and cut, then that will allow me to screw the ends together and then finish off. Then the last job then would to put the securing screws on the long sides. So that'll be the next job, is to put a couple of screws on both sides here so it will hold itself up, and then get on with the outside. I'll bring you back for that in a moment. So after a little bit of careful measuring and jiggly, basically I've managed to end up with a couple of matching sides, which will allow, obviously that goes to the base, and that will allow the sides to sort of splay out and give it that little bit nicer, more professional look. So yeah, so what you can do when you're starting putting things together, if you've only got one pair of hands, because although I've got a few pairs of hands and paws around, I won't get much help. A few galvanised nails, and just pop just a couple in around the thing, because I'm going to screw it together. It just holds a lot better, and then it's much easier. You can start those off. So what I'll do is, on here, I'll take the nails here, and I'll just put a couple of nails in around, get them virtually all the way through. That way all I've got to do is put it into place, tap them in, and it'll hold everything together for me. Then I can screw it up, and I'll bring you back at that point. Well, there we go. And like I said, by using the nails, what that's actually allowed me to do is it's allowed me to actually get the trough to the shape I was actually wanting, as you can see. So all that's left now is to screw everything together to firm it all up, and then I'm going to line it with some polythene. So I'll screw it all up. I'm sure you don't need to see me sit here with a screwdriver and screws. I've got some polythene, heavy polythene. I'll line it and then make some little drainage holes and things for it. But I'll bring you back when I've finished screwing it up. So there we are, up to point. As you can see here, they're currently upside down, but I've now run screws along the long edges, as well as all right, Ben, all right. Not happy, I'm not playing. As well as extra screws on the end. So that's allowed me to firm everything up. Go. So now it's lining out. Now I would have preferred to have managed to recycle some old polythene bags or something, but obviously well, not obviously. A lot of what I'm doing is quite a new venture, so I don't have, whereas before, you know, as I go along, I'll keep things, and anything that might come in handy, I'll be recycled, I'll keep it, and then I can reuse it. At the minute I don't have that, so I'm just pulling a couple of bin bags from the Most Beloved's under the sink area. So I'm going to fit that now, get a staple gun and I'll bob that in. And then a bit of a tip there is what I'm going to do is I'm going to move that to where it's going to live before I put anything in it. So a bit of a tip there. Don't get it all done and all built and filled in and everything else and then think, oh, I can't move it. Because it can it'll definitely keep getting heavier the more you put in it. So with that, I'll crack on with the liners and I will bring you back shortly. All right, Ben. Oh, well, here we are. Probably half an hour, maybe just over, 40 minutes maybe. Excuse the wind, breeze is just coming up a little bit. But, yeah, $20, a few screws, and then a bin liner. And here we have the result. Oops, I'm in the shade. There's Clyde getting in on the picture there. Hello. So, yep, there we are. So quite pleased. Don't forget to pop some holes in the polythene, or you've made a bath, not a not a planter. The other thing is what I've done is, you've noticed I didn't completely fill the planter with the soil. Try and get yourself a good quality compost, because obviously then it always gets used on the garden later, so it does pay dividends. You know, once you've used it, you don't throw it away. It becomes a mulch, soil conditioner, things like that. But also I haven't filled it to the top because I'll be putting potted plants, potted plants actually in here. Things that I've grown, I've bought from the garden centre. But what I'll do with those is, as I've bought those, I've got some already and I've got those downstairs. I don't put them straight out because then what you find, 90% of places, especially at this time of year, because I'm very, very early in the season, they'll have been undercover. So to bring them home, put them in a new home and a new environment, it can actually check them and doesn't do them well. So I've brought them in, I've got them under the decking, they'll get plenty of sun. I'll gradually acclimatise them, and then over the next few days, when it looks like they're going away, that's when I'll plant them out. So hopefully they'll get as little check as possible. So anyway, with that, I hope you enjoyed that, and I'll catch you with the next little project. Catch you on the flip side, guys. And gals, especially. What do you say, lad? Come on then, let's clear up.